Hello there. So today I'm going to share with you 3 different photography challenges that you can do that are perfect for times when you feel like you're in a creative slump or that you just need a kick up the rear end to get out there with your camera. I'm going to share with you what those challenges are, how to do them, some example photos from the times that I've taken these challenges up, and I'm going to give you some tips for making the most of each one. If you're new here, hello, my name's Adrienne from Live Snap Love, where I help you master photography quickly and easily so you can beautifully capture the people and the moments that matter most. Now, regardless of whether you are new to photography or you've been shooting a while, there are always times that we feel a little creatively blocked. If you are in business, you can feel like you're taking the same photo over and over and over and over again, and you just get bored. Sometimes we can fall into a comparison trap and we compare our work to other photographers, find ours lacking, and in response, we get even less creative and we feel less like shooting. So we end up in this vicious circle. And sometimes we just feel overwhelmed. There are so many options of things we can photograph, but somehow we can't even think of one that we want to pick up our camera and photograph. So regardless of where you are in that and which one of those you are feeling, the result is the same. You feel more in a slump, you don't want to pick up your camera, and then when you do, the resulting photographs aren't what you wanted, so it means you don't want to pick up your camera again, and you just get caught in this vicious cycle. So a great way to break that is by doing a photography challenge. So the 3 I'm going to share with you today are pretty short ones. You know, these aren't ones that you have to do all year or for a whole month. You can literally get one done in as little as 30 minutes. So they're excellent for just giving you that nudge and helping you to pick up your camera. And it can feel a little bit like you're still creatively blocked when you first pick up your camera, but as you get shooting and as you do these challenges, I do promise it does help, and you do start to feel more creative. So let's dive in now to what those 3 challenges are. And let's start with the first one, which is the 1 subject, 10 photos challenge. Now your goal here is pretty simple. You are going to take one simple subject and you are going to aim to create 10 unique photographs. And the key word there is unique. We want each one to be different. So you can choose any subject that you want. You could use a fork, you could use a flower, you could use an ornament or a doll, or you could use my personal favorite, which is the humble egg. Your subject really doesn't matter. It's actually not that important. So don't spend a ton of time trying to find one. Go into a room and pick one of the first objects you see. If you're still stuck, choose the egg. Just go with exactly what I have done and use the humble egg that you will have hopefully in your fridge, and you can get started right now. So the next thing you want to do, as I said, is take 10 unique photographs. So in order to take 10 different photographs, you are going to want to do some things. You're going to want to play with different types of light. So I use the same light in the same location. I just used it in different ways. If you want to, you could move around, but it's easier if you just stick to one location. But try and use the light in different ways. You can introduce different colors and play with color theory and look for complementary colors. So all I did here was take some blue paper that I had lying around, slip that underneath, and that helped me create another unique photograph. Play with where you place your focus. You could play with your depth of field as well, and also look to use different types of composition rules and different guides. Now, you can play around with your subject. So for example, let's say you chose a lemon. You could definitely find yourself slicing into that, or taking out the pips or something along those lines so that you can photograph it in different ways. Remember, we're limiting our options, but if you feel that would be a good idea to whisk up that egg like I've done, go ahead and do it. There isn't really any rules as such. Your goal is to create that 10 unique images from that one single subject. So the second one I have for you is what I call the 30 in 30 challenge. Now this works in the same way in that we are limiting our options in order to kickstart our creativity. So for here, I want you to go to one location. I do want quite a reasonable size of location, but not too big. You want to kind of restrain yourself a little bit. So it could be something like your back garden or your front garden or on your street. You could go to a small area in your park or down at the beach, but try and limit the area that you're shooting in. Again, we want to limit those options. We have too much, we tend to get overwhelmed. Limit the location that you're photographing in. We're also going to place a limit on the time because you're only going to get 30 minutes to carry out this exercise. So you're in a more restrained location, and within 30 minutes, you are going to aim to take 30 unique photographs. Now, again, I want you to think about the same things. Think about using different depths of field. What about, freezing the motion in the picture and then taking one that shows the motion? Look around your location and look for interesting lines, shapes, colors, textures. Again, use the available light in different ways. Shoot from different angles and get different perspectives, and use different compositional tools and elements. Now, as you can see, although you are limited both in time and location, you really aren't limited. There are a lot of different things that you can play with. And this is what we're trying to get to the fore. By limiting the other things, we're hoping to bring that creativity to the fore. Now, our final challenge is to photograph a day in your life. Now, this is perfect if you also want to make sure that you capture moments throughout the day. Maybe you're capturing your children, and this can be a perfect one for that. But it's also an excellent one because it forces you to use different locations and different lights. So we're limiting our options, but not quite as much as with the other two, but we are forcing ourselves to use different things. We won't have any choice. As we photograph throughout the day, you're going to photograph in low light, possibly sunrise, maybe full sun, and again, maybe by lamp light in the evening. We're really forcing ourselves to use different things. And plus, you'll be in different locations. You'll be outside, indoors, in your kitchen, bedroom, and that will force you to use different windows in your home, for example, or shoot in places that you wouldn't normally think of shooting. Now, the same thing applies here. You can be more rigid here. Make sure that you take an image every 30 minutes, for example, or you can just take pictures throughout the day, whatever works better for you. But you do want to make sure that you're taking pictures from the moment you get up to the moment that you go to bed. And again, keep in mind the same things. Explore the light. As I said, you'll naturally end up shooting in different types of light, but it's great to embrace that and try and use the light in different ways. You can also make sure that you capture your everyday routine. So things that you wouldn't otherwise think of photographing because they're maybe a bit kind of dull and routine. How can you make that look more interesting? Also think about taking your camera everywhere. Now, I sometimes don't like to take my big camera out in public depending on where I'm going, in which case you can absolutely use your phone camera. Again, you're thinking more about light and composition. But above all, make sure that you experiment. Change your shooting angles. Shoot from different vantage points. Try and use leading lines or frame your subjects. You can even play using different lenses. Shoot with a longer length lens indoors or go ultra wide angle for a portrait shot. When you are taking so many images like this, it is a great excuse to just have a play and start to feel more creative. So that is the 3 photography challenges I have for you. I hope you enjoyed them. Please do let me know in the comments if you'll be trying any of these, and if so, which one, because I'd love to know. Now, I do have a freebie that I think you might like, and that is our 50 ways to improve your photography free guide. You can find a link to that in the description underneath where you're watching this video. So that's it from me for this week. Please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and that way you will stay in the loop for any new videos that are released, and we do aim to release one weekly. But that's it for me for this week, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.